All right, let's talk about marketing. When I say that word, what pops into your head? I'm guessing it's ads, right? Or maybe social media posts. And look, you're not wrong, but you're also not really right. What if the most critical parts of marketing happen way before you ever see an ad? Yeah, we're going to completely flip the script on what you think marketing actually is.
So let's just put it out there. Ask 100 people, what is marketing? And you're probably going to get the same few answers every single time.
You'll hear about ads, of course, branding, social media. And yeah, those are definitely part of marketing. They're the stuff you see. But that's all they are, the very, very tip of a giant iceberg.
And trust me, that visible part, it's just a tiny piece of the puzzle. The real action, the stuff that actually decides if a product lives or dies, well, that all happens under the water, completely out of sight.
Okay, so here's the big shift. To really get marketing, you got to stop thinking of it as a department down the hall. Instead, think of it as a system, a whole system designed to do one thing, manage value.
And at its heart, this system is actually super simple. It really just boils down to 3 fundamental steps. First, you have to create value. Then, you communicate that value. And finally, and this is the part people always forget, you have to deliver it.
So let's dig into that. Step 1, creating value. This is the product, the thing itself. And the most important question you can ask isn't, hey, isn't this cool? The real question is, does this solve a genuine, nagging problem for a real person? Because if it doesn't, honestly, nothing else matters.
Okay, step 2, communicating value. This is your message. Look, you could invent the greatest thing since sliced bread, but if you can't clearly and simply answer the customer's question, so what? Why should I care? Then it's dead in the water. It's about making people understand why your solution matters to them.
And number 3, delivering value. This is the channel. How does your amazing product actually get into a customer's hands? We're talking about salespeople, retail stores, the App Store, whatever it is. And I'm telling you, this is the graveyard where so many brilliant ideas go to die. Because making something great isn't enough. You have to have a way for people to actually get it.
Now, this whole process, it's not happening in a nice, clean little bubble. No, it's operating inside a dynamic system with 3 major players constantly in motion.
And those players are always the same. You've got the customer, the company, and the competition. The customer has needs. Your company has skills, and your competition is right there trying to win that same customer. Real success? It's found in that magical little overlap where what the customer needs, what you're great at, and what your competition isn't all come together. Okay, so if this system is so simple, create, communicate, deliver, why do so many new products fail? Like a staggering number of them. Well, the reason usually isn't about bad tech or a flawed business plan. It's about psychology.
This quote from John Gorville just nails it. He says, "Many innovations fail because consumers irrationally overvalue the old and companies irrationally overvalue the new." Basically, there's this huge psychological disconnect. We, the customers, love our old habits, and the companies, well, they're completely in love with their shiny new thing. And that disconnect, it's not a small gap, it's a chasm. Researchers call it the 9x effect, and it is a massive, massive hurdle to overcome.
So here's how you get to that crazy number. The company, totally biased, thinks its new product is 3 times better than the old way. But at the same time, the customer, who is comfortable with their routine, thinks their current solution is 3 times better than switching. So you multiply those 2 biases together. 3 times 3, and you get 9. Your product doesn't just need to be better, it needs to be 9 times better in the customer's mind just to break even.
And this 9x perception gap is what leads to all the classic, predictable failures. You end up targeting the wrong person entirely. You wildly overestimate how much people want your new thing. And maybe worst of all, you completely ignore the people whose job it is to actually deliver your product to the customer.
All right, theory's great, but let's see how this works in the real world. I want to tell you a story about a product that was, by all accounts, a genius invention. That completely tanked. Let's talk about a shower called the Aqualisa Quartz. So this is the thing. It came out in 2001, and it was a legit breakthrough. It had this remote electronic valve. Basically, it guaranteed a perfect shower with perfect temperature and pressure every single time. A huge leap in technology.
And I mean, just look at the comparison. A standard shower took 2 days to install. This one, half a day. Old showers had wonky temperature controls. This was one-touch perfection. The water pressure was always reliable. For the person actually using the shower, This thing was a home run. It created so much value.
So, by every single technical measure, the quartz should have taken over the entire market. It was just better, but it didn't. In fact, at first, it was a total failure. The big question is, why?
Because Aqualisa made one of those classic mistakes we just talked about. They forgot to ask who the real customer was. They marketed their amazing shower to the homeowner, but homeowners weren't the ones buying showers. You know who was? Plumbers. Plumbers made the decision.
And the plumbers, they hated it for a couple of reasons. One, they were old school. They didn't trust all this newfangled electronic stuff. But the bigger reason, the real reason, the shower's biggest selling point, that it was super fast to install, was actually a huge negative for them. Plumbers get paid by the hour. A job that takes half a day instead of 2 days, that's a massive pay cut. Aqualisa built a product that was great for the end user, but terrible for the person who had to deliver it.
This whole Aqualisa story is the perfect way to wrap our heads around this new definition of marketing. It's not about making the loudest noise. It's about building a solid bridge all the way to your customer.
Think about it like this. Creating value, that's you designing and building the actual bridge. Communicating value, that's putting up signs saying, hey, awesome new bridge over here. But delivering value, that's making sure there's an actual on-ramp, and that the toll collectors, in this case the plumbers, are willing to let people on. Aqualisa built a fantastic bridge, but they forgot to build the on-ramp.
And that really is the bottom line here. A great product is essential, but it is never, ever enough on its own. Marketing is the entire system you build, the message, the delivery, the incentives that allows that great product to actually survive and thrive out in the messy, complicated, and very human real world.